All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm so glad you're all here. We're going to have a great group today. And as you know, we're working on the Go Giver. We've been touching on that a little bit. We started that last week, and we have a couple other things we want to talk about also today. So it's kind of a packed day. But I'm hoping that some of you had a chance to either get out your books or download them or buy them and start digging in, because it is such a great read. I've been refreshing everything too, and it's just such a great reminder for all of us in how we want to do our businesses. And so the first law that we talked about last week was the law of value, and that's where your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than take in payment, which is such a foreign concept for so many people nowadays. People are more go-getters than go-givers. They're more focused on what they can get from you than what they can add to your life. And that is such a limiting way of doing business. And so not only will this book and the principles in it, it lines up with so many of our principles that we already have in our lives, which is why we're drawn to this and which is why we're drawn to each other. But it's great reminders on practical ways to apply them. And it really trickles into all areas of our life, not just our soul business. And that's one of the good things about digging into this, because it does trickle into other areas. So the second law was the law of compensation. And that's what I'm hoping that people were able to look into that a little bit before today. But that's where your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So when you hear the law of compensation, when I first heard that, I thought, okay, the law of how I get paid. It is so much bigger than that. It is so much more than that. It's so much more about imparting good and seeking ways to give to others, because it just naturally comes back. I put together a few little gems that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to show you here. I loved these quotes from the book. This one, the first question should be, does it serve? Does it add value to others? If the answer to that question is yes, then you can go ahead and ask, does it make money? So if you are looking for how it can add value to others, that is what our primary focus should be, not number one on the money. The money comes, but it's how is it going to affect and help others. Another one is your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. So again, it's that mentality of others first. And it's not a fake others first. It is pouring yourself into others. And of course, you cannot pour from an empty vessel. So you have to make sure that you are also taking care of yourself and your own needs as well. But that's where these come in. You know, if we didn't have this, I don't know what I'd do. My vessel would be pretty empty right now, because there's a lot of things that draw on all of us and draw on our energy. But when you put others first, you get so much more even in return. My sister and I had such a beautiful experience with one of the gals on here. You know, I go over there thinking I'm helping them, and she's got all these beautiful things to give, all these gifts ready to pour out for us. And it's like this giving party. Everybody's giving to one another, and I'm wearing my bracelet that she gave me. But it's such a gift to have people that you have that interchange of encouragement with. And the more you give, the more you get. It just naturally happens that way. Another one I wanted to share is, this is really powerful, because a lot of people have that gimme, 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 go-getter mentality. And I love this. It says, what you focus on is what you get. Go looking for conflict and you'll find it. Go looking for people to take advantage of you, and they generally will. See the world as a dog-eat-dog place, and you always find a bigger dog looking at you as if you're his next meal. Go looking for the best in people, and you will be amazed at how much talent, ingenuity, empathy, and good you will find. Ultimately, the world treats you more or less the way you expect to be treated. And we have all seen this over and over and over again. You know, you see people who, you know, they'll be kind of focused on the problems in their lives, or people that might be negative. And these are all things that are real. But when you focus on that, you draw so much more of that into your life. And so these are really, really good practical reminders of how we can not just apply these kinds of principles in our businesses, but in all areas of our lives. And it really does benefit us in big ways. There's some more I'd like to share here. Oh, let's see here. There's another quote that I thought was really good. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. So these principles we know go until the beginning of time, but throughout history, there have been successful people that use these principles in their businesses and in their lives. And so these were some of the gems that I got out of it. These are some of the things that I really enjoyed from what I was reading. And I'd love to hear from any of you if you have something that you'd like to share that you gleaned from it that might be of service to the rest of us. So if there's anybody that would like to share, I'd love to open it up for anyone who'd like to. And if not, that is okay. Okay. All right. Oh, Tamara. Yeah, go ahead.
Just bouncing off of what you just said. I think when I first started thinking about the business aspect of Soul, I was thinking, well, let's see, put this together, look at the chart and figure this out and figure that out. And how can I get enough money to pay for my own product? That was my first goal. And then it started thinking about making money, but it never went anywhere. It never felt good. It just didn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So I just learned to get away from that completely, not even think about all that stuff. And yeah, you do have to go back and look at the charts and figure it all out. But just thinking about what a person's life could be if they had soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is such a powerful thing, that to have a tool like this, especially right now, is a gift, because we've got depression at an all-time high with people. Suicide is at an all-time high with people. There are so many issues that have come about from isolation, from being people who have gotten sick. There's so many issues that have come about here that to have something that actually works, that we can share, is so powerful. And I know there was a line in the book where this character Joe went to the coffee shop, and this gal has the best coffee in the world, and all he can think about is how she's going to make a killing. And that was his main thought. And her thought was on just sharing her coffee. And by her having that mentality, it naturally grows, because if you have something that's of value that actually helps people, and you're focused on that and not on making a killing, the rest comes naturally. I know, Rachel, did you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah, you and I were just talking about this and how the types of people that are drawn to Soul, because what happens is it draws like-minded people who are thinking about other people. And so, when we've had people who were all about hype, and they were like not wanting to stick with Soul because they were thinking, how am I going to make money? And they like the rah, promise of riches and all of these things. And Soul is just not like that, because it's people based. And we're going to talk about some of this too, and just getting to know the founders also. And there's a way that we're going to be able to do that. But it really attracts like-minded people, because it's people who truly care about others. And it's the law of attraction. People are drawn to you that think like you. And that's it's such a beautiful community because of that. So it's like, and the more you're in Soul, the more you're going to realize that. But it's that giving without expectation. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Amen. And then I think I saw Maria. Did you still have something to share? I saw you put your hand down, so I didn't want to pressure you.
Yes, I think you had mentioned the book last week's meeting.
Yes.
And I'll be honest with you, I really wasn't what would be the word? I'm not one to be reading books like that, but I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. And so I bought it. And by the way, I got a really good deal on it in the, but I started reading it, and it's a really good book. You know, it's I think I'm in chapter 4. But anyways, it has changed my way of thinking as far as when it comes to like sales and how to look at this opportunity. So I'm enjoying reading the book. Thank you.
I'm so glad. That's great. And that's why, like, I think that we do, as a society, we get kind of bombarded with a certain way of looking at things. And so this book has really been helpful for me, and I know for others too, to kind of shift the way we see things, because you want to, a lot of times people say, oh, I'm not a salesman, because there's such an ugly trait that comes with that, this stigma. And we are not selling. We are sharing, and if it is of value to that person, they're going to want it. And if they don't, we love them just the same, and that is okay. And so there's a big difference between being a salesperson and a go-giver. And so that's why this book is such a powerful tool for all of us. And so with that, I know, Rachel, you mentioned some opportunities for us to know the founders. There are some really special things coming up that we did want to touch on in this meeting. There is an event. I'm going to share my screen. There's an event coming up in August, and I'm going to show you where it is. Some of you know, some of you don't. But it is in Orlando, Florida, August 19th through the 21st. And this has been postponed because of the circumstances right now. And it has been rescheduled to this August 19th to the 21st. It's going to be at the Hilton Lake Buena Vista in Orlando. It is walking distance to Disney World. It's going to be 3 days of wonderful instruction. I know that they're making preparations for everyone to be able to do things in a way that makes them comfortable. Some people are going to feel comfortable attending. Some people might want to have some social distancing. I'm not sure how they're going to navigate all of this, but these events are so powerful. Again, it's the 19th through the 21st. Registration has opened. So the reason we're bringing this up right now is because right now is the cheapest. So if you are wanting to register, the sooner the better. It is $225 through March 31st, and then it goes up to $250 through June 30th, and then $275 through the rest of the event. They have wonderful opportunities to earn your room for free. If you have 8 people, including yourself, that register that are under you, you get your room for free. So that's their Celebrate team. So it's a way to encourage people to attend and share and invite. These events are extremely powerful. So, I mean, you figure you get a Celebrate team, you've got yourself, and let's say if you're married, you might bring your husband, or if you bring a friend or whatever, that's 2 people right there. So 6 more people and you've got it paid. So they try to make it as affordable, and they give us lots of incentives. These events are educational, empowering, inspirational. They are just wonderful. And so I wanted to invite, again, that's the registration for this event. And as we are looking to the coming days, weeks, months, years, we want to be conscious of the decisions that we're making right now, because they translate into effect down the road. And so we don't know where we'll be 5, 10, 15 years from now. But for right now, we have to make a living. We have a wonderful vehicle to use for that can help people and make an impact. And so by taking advantage of events like this, it opens up so many opportunities and connection for us. And if we really focus on every day doing something that will get us closer to a better tomorrow, it's going to help other people do the same. And these events are so they're powerful for our businesses too. We were listening to one of our Zooms recently, and they said for every person that you bring to one of these events, on average, it translates to another $1,000 for the annual salary that you see. So we're not a salary, but you see that reflected about $1,000 for the year. So these are powerful because they help get people equipped with their businesses. They help them change their perspectives a little bit, and they educate. So I'd love to hear from Tamara. Tamara, actually, we've had the privilege of going to quite a few of these events together, and she has been the best travel buddy. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about what your experience has been with these events.
Okay, so you used the word inspirational, motivational. That's perfect. Yeah, I felt inspired, I felt motivated, but in a really wonderful way. So you're there with these wonderful, amazing people. And they're amazing and wonderful because they actually care about other people. They really do. They really care about other people. And it starts with the founders. So when you're at these events, you get to meet the founders. And it's not like, oh yeah, you just stand in a line and shake their hand and hello. And no, they're giving everybody hugs. Of course, I don't know about this time going around, if they're doing that or not, they probably will. They meet you and then they actually remember your name. You see them in a crowd later and they call out your name and say, hey. I mean, they're just really great folks that really care about you. And so that's where it starts. And then all of the other people that are involved in the company, it's the same way. They really care about helping people. So that's the atmosphere you're in. It feels like family. It feels like you belong. It's not the kind of family reunion you go to where you want to throw food at each other and you wish that Uncle Albert wasn't there. It's the kind of family where you're glad to be together and you're having fun and you're just soaking it all in. And you learn so much. I feel like my brains are going to explode by the end of it. And I can't remember it all, but then they give you all these great resources to take with you so that you can refer back to them later. And it's all good stuff. It's all things that are going to help you. I feel like it's not only helping me grow as far as helping business wise. And of course, this is a business trip, right? You're writing it off as a business trip, but it helps me personally. I feel like so much personal growth from it. And all of my friends and family that have gone with me, people in my downline have gone sometimes, and they all just rave about how wonderful it is. They take their kids. So, you know, you're meeting all these great people. I've met Tammy there at one. I met Natalie at another. I mean, all these great friends that I've made over the years, and they're still friends. And they're the kind of friends that you want to travel with. And we do. We travel with each other. We go on road trips together. We, you know, drive around the island of Oahu together. It's great. It's just this wonderful experience. And, you know, again, I've never regretted going. I've been to quite a few. Never regretted going. I've always been glad I did it. And at the end, I always feel motivated. I always feel inspired. I feel invigorated. And I feel this sort of refreshment. I'm not exhausted at the end of it. I just want to keep going and go again.
I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah, you nailed it. And I do love that they are family oriented. This resort that they have us going to is so geared towards families. They have meal packages for the kids if you want to have them at the banquets and whatnot. They bend over backwards to make it as inclusive to our whole family as possible. In Hawaii, they had whole families were there. I got to bring my kids, which was great. In Cancun, all these places you see kids and mates and friends and all these people get to invite their loved ones along. So I do love that about the Solle events, and it's just such a special thing. I know, Rachel, would you like to share a little bit about what your feedback is on the events?
Yeah. And, I've been a part of several network marketing companies, and, I've been to a lot of different events, and I've never been successful with other companies. And there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of rah-rah, and you get excited, but then what is it really doing for you and your business? Like for me, it wasn't until I found Soul that it really took off, that my business took off. But what you'll experience, and like, we can tell people, oh, you're going to love it and it's amazing and this and that. But until you experience it, we've always had people, they're like, oh my goodness, like you were right. Like, I think people think we're just kind of blowing hot air, but when you go and experience it, and, the founders, some of you have met them and some of you haven't, but they are the most amazing, kind-hearted, founders you'll ever meet. And they will take time with you and they will talk to you and you will become their friend. I mean, that's how wonderful they are. And so at these conventions, you get to spend time with like-minded people. They do a lot of really wonderful team building exercises, things that bring you outside of your comfort zone. It helps you tap into what you're capable of. And there's no rah-rah hype, but it's fun. The founders love to do skits and they love to do fun things. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, we had a Soul virtual event, and we did lip syncing contests, virtually. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. So we have fun, but we learn. And so it's something totally different. But what I explain to people is, this is starting our own business. We can start a business for $75. Okay. Literally start a business that could become a very, very substantial income for us. If that's what you choose for it to be, or if you just want to make a few $100s a month. But these conventions are an investment in our businesses. And for us, the registration, I think if you do it now, it's only $225. Well, that includes all the education, all of the tools, the food, the, different meals that they provide. They don't provide every single meal, but they do provide quite a bit. And that's like right now, what, $225? That's nothing. I mean, when I used to go to a lot of these, in different seminars, I mean, you could be paying, a lot more than that, and so you're getting so much for that. And you can earn the room, or you can go in on it with friends. But if you look at it as like a non-negotiable thing, when I started Soul, I made it a goal that, this is my business and I'm investing in my business. And when I say investing, that's really nothing compared to what other people invest in starting their own businesses, when there's no guarantee it's even going to be successful. So with this, it's completely in our control. These live events are extremely critical. And I just told myself, I'm going to make sure I'm at every single event. This is part of my business. This is how I learn, and to get people to come to. And, I'm just making it non-negotiable. This is what I'm doing. And so it's, it's in August, so it's a little ways away. But don't worry, we have everything for your immune system, you can imagine. So, but one of the things I love about Soul is they are family oriented, and at a lot of their conventions, they've actually set up childcare because they encourage people to bring their families. And so they would set up childcare for the kids during all the sessions. And then, like, even one of them, the vice president took all the kids bowling. Like, they treated all the kids, and they took a picture of all the kids at the bowling alley. It was the sweetest thing. The vice president took all the kids. I mean, that's the kind of company this is. So when you just make it a goal to be there, you could make it a goal to bring people. It's so much fun. I mean, I just would go for fun just because, but obviously there's more to it than fun. And they're also going to do a closing gala called Celebrity. You're going to be a celebrity, and we're dressing up and fancy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and they always use these puns. It's just so cute. But yeah, so it's just a lot of fun. And I mean, I always feel like encouraged spiritually and in business. Like, it's almost like everything wrapped into one, and like, you can't put a price tag on that, being with our friends, and, it just feels so good. So I'll just stop there.
Thank you. Okay, and then Tammy, did you want to share something too?
Well, just that it worked out that as soon as I started my soul business was Dallas, which was one of our conventions. And that was within a month or two. And I almost didn't go, but not only did I go, a couple of the other girls that had signed up under me went. Of course, it's close to me, so that was super easy. And just the fact that they got to see and know the company right away, you know, even though like we were kind of nobodies in our own mind at that point, but it started our soul business out with a bang from the beginning, because you saw right away what kind of company you were with. You know, it was not the kind you see rah-rah cheerleaders, which I'd already been in the same ones you guys have been in, and I was not interested in that. And then besides that, those of us that also share we're all the same family, you know, we all got close immediately. So even above and beyond everything else, now we have this bond that goes all around the US, but it started for me right out of the box. And it started for my team right out of the box because they went with me. So I feel like it's a great way to start, no matter if you just, you know, I mean, and actually, I think a couple that went with me weren't even specialists yet. And after that, once they got to know everybody, and of course, the founders, just speaking of that, they all came to my house. I've had every one of them at my house teaching a class. So they're not the kind of people that are standoffish or think they're better than everybody else. They're just like us. They want to share. And because of that, I think the whole company has that mentality and has people, like you said, Rachel or Rebecca or Tamara, I don't know who, it attracts those kind of people that really are interested in other people. They're not in it just to make a buck. That's all.
That's so true. And I don't think that there will be company, I just messaged Hope, there won't be company provided childcare this year, but there will be opportunities for the kids to have certain activities. But yeah, it's so neat because I got to meet, I think, Tammy, I met you in Dallas. I think that was the first time I met you in person. And it was like this instant, just like, I love you with everybody. It was like a big love fest. And so it's so neat to connect with each other. And it is really powerful for new people. And even if somebody is not a specialist, this is open to anyone. So anyone who's interested in learning more about the products, about the business, about anything related to this, it's a great opportunity. And there's no pressure, none of that. But you always come home refreshed and educated, encouraged, and inspired. So hopefully this gives you guys some ideas. Again, the 225 registration expires at the end of March. So if you are thinking of doing it, get your registration, save money where you can. You would call customer service to get that done, or you can do it online. You can do it through your login. If you go to the happenings page at the home section of Soul's website, there's a spot where you can log in. Maria, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. So I'm kind of confused. So the 225 is to attend the convention, right? So
Yeah.
we make our own plans as far as the hotel?
Okay, so they have a special rate at the resort where it's going to be held. So your registration covers, of course, attendance, because they have all the costs, associated with the, getting the ballrooms and the, all of the training and everything to do with that. And then it also covers the company meals. So there's always an opening and a closing banquet. Sometimes they'll have breakfast, snacks, and things like that. But it covers all the food that they're providing and all the education that they're providing. The hotel rooms, those are on us. They get a special rate. I want to say it's $180 a night. But what we have done in the past is if you have a group that you're going with, let's say you have 3 other people that are going with you, share the cost together. Share that room. You can fit 4 people in a room, if you don't mind bunking up with the girls, and you can cut that cost big time. So there's all sorts of ways to do it. Of course, they have the Celebrate teams where you can get your hotel covered that way also. But there's so many ways to do this, but that does cover all the education and the company provided meals for that convention. And like I said, just go to the happenings section on the website. You can log in. You can put how many registrations you want to do. Let's say that you're going to want so-and-so to go. So, Jim, Jack, and Jill to go. Well, you can actually register for people and then let them know later, hey, this is going to go to so-and-so that, wants to register for this event. They're not, I don't believe they're refundable, but they are transferable. So let's see, does anyone have any other questions? Maria, did that cover it for you?
Yeah, so they're not it's not refundable, right?
Not, I would
uh,
think if there's an emergency, they're very sweet about working with people, but typically they're not refundable, but they are transferable. So like, let's say something happened and, you know, your person that you were bringing with you can't go. You can actually sell it to another specialist because it's going to go up in cost. So that has happened. So there's ways to, you know, cover that. But yeah, they're very good about transferring them. You just have to let them know so they can put that in, you know, because you have a name tag when you get there and you have a little kit and all that good stuff. So,
well, I'm trying to convince my husband and my son, but I don't know what to tell them to convince. It's just that we're, you know, like everybody else, kind of strict with the traveling because of COVID, and
yeah.
that gets us nervous.
Well, and you know, it might be something to talk to customer support about. You know, you can always reach out to customer support and ask them, you know, how are they navigating this with the COVID situation? You know, some people might, maybe, I don't know how they're handling that, but it's definitely something to call them about. They're really easy to work with and very straightforward. So I would, Hope is wonderful. She's probably the one I would talk to about that. If you're going to talk to somebody at customer service, she's very knowledgeable and she's like on point with all the facts and details.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, she's a good resource. Okay, so does anyone else have any questions before we wrap up? No? Okay. Well, you guys.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. So is the only chance to get a discount on your room, because used to we would have different things throughout the year, but maybe that's a different type of a trip. But to celebrate the 8 people is the only way that we can get, right?
Yes.
So not reaching certain ranks or stuff like that on this one.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, the ranks one are more for the reward trips, but for the convention, they do the celebrate team. And yeah, that's usually how you earn it with that. But yeah, for the reward trips, that's a whole other thing, which I'm sure we'll be hearing about that.
And what is the celebrate exactly? What we get 8 people under us?
Yeah.
And no, including you.
Including
you count as one person, and then you do 7 other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you, ladies.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Any other questions, you guys, before we close? No. Oh, is that a hand? Do I see a hand? Let me see who's got their hand.
Rosa.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
I was just wondering, is there going to be some kind of review or some videos that we could see in case we can't go?
You know, a lot of times they'll have like zip drives of some of the information from the events. It obviously wouldn't have everything, but I'll find out. We can find out and let you know what they're going to have available, but they usually have something available for ones that just cannot attend. And I would think that they're going to probably do that this year, especially given the circumstances. So, but we'll find out. Maybe we can get the answer for that and then report back next week if you haven't heard from your people before then. But yeah, that's a really good question. I'll find out. But yeah, they're usually good about that. And we will be doing highlights after, you know, because of course we want everybody to get as much benefit from this as humanly possible. And that does not just mean the ones that are able to attend in person. I'll be there. I know Rachel's going to be there. I can't speak for anyone else, but I know there will be quite a few there. So we'll make sure that we bring as much information back and do some events ourselves on Zoom with all of you so that we can help you get as much as possible out of it.
And if you would like some help with that and you want to get some ideas to brainstorm on how you could get there, we're happy to do that with you too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I was just going to say, my husband is not traveling right now. And then we have our son with special needs and he will not leave him for anything.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we'll leave him like just to go to, you know, Napa or something, but not get in an airplane and leave them.
Yeah, that's tough. That would be
Yeah.
really tough, really tough. And we're hoping too by August, that's also why they time it the way that they do, that by then there should be far fewer restrictions, if any, by then. So we're really excited. So that hopefully things will have progressed to a point where we can all be there. But I understand sometimes circumstances just do not permit, and that is completely understandable. Life happens and we got to work around that. So we'll do everything we can to give you all the gems from it that we can. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I love seeing all you guys on here. You're just doing so great, popping on every week. It's wonderful. It's such a nice group. So I want to thank you all for being here. It looks like we're a little over time, but not much. We did pretty good. And we will get you the information for next week on what we're going to be going into. Keep reading The Go-Giver. It'd be great to hear little tidbits in the coming weeks of what you're all getting out of it, because it's good reminders for all of us, even if we've read it multiple times. You always get something new out of that book. So anyways, thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for all the questions and comments and shares. And we'll see you next week.
Tuesday.
Bye,
We'll see
everybody.
everybody Tuesday.
11:30. We're doing the product passion. We're going to go back to wrap up the drinks on Excel. Yeah, we had a few people that really wanted to get that. So we'll do that this Tuesday. Okay.
Bye, girls.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
everyone.
Love
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.